let's start off, just the candidates, if you'd introduce yourself, just give me your name, your current primary branch, and the position you're running for. 3 things.
Dave Elkner, current NJBA president, past president of the South Jersey. And if I can, John, South Jersey Beekeepers, I'm very familiar with, obviously, and they give money every year to the Malawi for Tim. I believe Mid-State did it last year, and I believe Jersey Cape did. I'm not familiar with what your branches up this way do with their money, but South Jersey, I know, gave money to the Malawi for Tim Schuler.
Thank you.
Keith Lyons, I'm the current first VP, obviously Raritan Valley Beekeepers Association. I don't know if we give you any money, Tim, but I'm going to work on that.
What position are you running for?
First VP.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, or good evening. I'm Dave Weidner. I am a candidate for 2nd vice president. I run Garden State Apiaries in
Which branch?
Central Jersey.
Thank you.
I'm Rebecca Garvin. I'm the current 2nd VP of Sussex County Beekeepers Association, and I'm running for the position of corresponding secretary.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with my back, so I'll just stay
That's
good. I am Charles Ilsley. I'm past president of Northwest Beekeepers and treasurer of NJB.
My name is Tom Watkinson. I'm a former president of the Raritan Valley Beekeepers Association, and I'm a current 3rd vice president of the State Beekeepers Association and running for 3rd VP of the State Beekeepers Association. And also a former attendee with Tim Schuler to Malawi, and it is a life-changing experience, and I encourage anybody to go.
Danielle Miller, I'm also Raritan Valley, and I'm running for recording secretary. And I'm not good in crowds.
All right, so thank you, everybody. You know, it's really good we have a slate of candidates here that kind of across the state from South Jersey to Northwest and in between. So the nominating committee, we really try to have candidates from across the state so the whole state is represented. So I think we did a pretty good job with that this year. We'll be at this for maybe as long as you want to, really. So I've got 5 questions here. Yeah?
No.
Yeah, I've got 2 more on the card, sorry. Let me start with this one from the audience. How would you encourage members to attend state meetings? What would be the benefit from attending the state meetings for the members? So the way we'll work this, I mean, somebody could just kind of volunteer an answer and then others can add to it, and that would probably be the best. Dave, why don't you start?
As president, part of my job is to try to increase our membership. And you mind if I sit down, do you?
No, that's good.
So by trying to pick a centralized location in the state to hold a meeting, it makes it more convenient from the south and from the north to attend. That's why we tried for the Eco Center for the winter meeting, and we had the Cream Ridge facility for our most recent meeting. Again, we're trying to get different facilities to show what's available out there, and if you do the same thing repetitively, it becomes boring. So by moving locations around, it piques people's interest, and we try to target the center part of the state, just for convenience. That's not to say I don't want, as president, individual branches to host meetings. We've done that in the past. We did that prior to COVID, but once COVID hit, it sort of shut down everything in person and we had to go to the Zoom. With the way our finances are set up, the state took over the meetings to get everything back up and running. But right now, tentatively, I'm going to speak for Landy, Essex is going to do the fall meeting, possibly South Jersey the following spring. So the branches can make some money on that depending upon what you spend on speakers. So it's another source of a fundraiser and brings everybody down into your neck of the woods to show what goes on in your area. And if I can, John, and I just want to bring one thing up that I feel is very important that Joan pointed out. New Jersey has 1,506 members right now, Charlie, registered.
What was that again?
1,506 currently.
1,504, 1,506 is about right.
Okay. Martine, our newsletter editor, did a check on the emails, sends out 1,500 emails. 300 people voted in the last election. 300 out of 1,500. So what Joan was saying, trying to promote interest in the state of officers, I think is definitely a good thing. Joan spoke to me about 3 months ago about this idea, and I said, it's never been tried. Give it a shot. What do you have to lose? It generates interest in the beekeeping community and volunteerism as a whole.
Dave, and to add to that, there's an added benefit for the branches. When it comes to the finances of running a meeting, a local branch or a state meeting, it's a wonderful fundraising opportunity for the branches to really get involved in there. You've got vendors that come in and will supply you with things that can get raffled off. And basically that's a source of funding for your outreach right there. So that is a very good reason. Plus, we have excellent homegrown local people who give good talks. That's another thing that can be emphasized for a branch location. We have a stipend that the executive board provides a branch leads a meeting, and that's for the amount of $600 that goes towards whatever you want it to go for. It could be food, the venue, or speakers.
Cool. Moore Somerset did sponsor a volunteer for a meeting about a year or more ago, and I think that was financially beneficial to the branch.
It was remarkably financial.
Beneficial, yeah.
Very, very beneficial.
And Northwest has also volunteered lately, and I don't remember a branch that has volunteered that hasn't made money from it.
There's not been any branch that didn't do extremely well lately at all. Done well, period.
And the biggest commitment, the branch has a number of things to do, including set up the venue, but then they also need branch members to volunteer to help run the event.
Yeah.
Grant?
How does making money get members to a state meeting and show the benefit of the state meeting?
Are you saying we should get back to the original question?
Well,
I kind of get that impression.
Yeah. What was that again now? What was that again?
So the original question was, how can you encourage members to attend state meetings? What would be the benefit from attending state meetings? So we kind of talked about the benefits of a branch hosting a meeting, which is great. But to Grant's point, how about what's the benefit to individual members attending state meetings?
Well, there's a whole bunch of how to do going on at these meetings. That's number one. Number two, another aspect of that is what's for sale, and that's beekeeping equipment and how to use that equipment. That also comes in very handy, and then local stands that get set up. Beekeeping demonstrations and demonstrations of techniques. That's another excellent reason why we have these kind of meetings for everybody.
Keith's going to add to it.
Morris Somerset put one on at the Deaconry that was a home run with respect to fishing. Was it called drone fishing with a weather balloon? And we put a queen up in a weather balloon and attracted drones from feral hives or hives in the vicinity, whatever. That's an example. It was kind of a blast.
Like educational example.
Yeah, exactly.
To add to what Charlie has said and what Dave has said, speakers, everybody's done a great job. I've taken away a lot of really good information. The last meeting, Dr. Robin Underwood was there. If you've not seen her speak, I highly, highly suggest it. There's definitely one of the benefits is you get to see people that you might not hear talk. You get some homegrown people there. Tim has spoken at them. John has spoken at them. I forget your name. You've spoken at several.
Much more.
Yes. So that's definitely one. You also get to see the antics of Charlie and Dave, which is worth the price of admission.
A little bit of history. I'm typically up 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to say, as I said when I was in the Cologne Fire Company as chief, more gets done before a meeting and after a meeting than during a meeting. meeting's just sort of to bless the decisions that have been made. If I do not have Charlie on the phone 4 out of 7 mornings at 5:30 in the morning, it's not one. And everybody laughs, but I'm dead serious. We talk most times between 5:30 and 6 in the morning about monetary issues, insurance issues. So I do have a rapport with Charlie, and if anybody knows Charlie, he can move on a topic. He can add his own flavor to a topic.
So back to the educational part, the benefit of this next meeting on February 24th at the Eco Center. First of all, we're going to have the Assemblyman
Alex
Sawicki there. And so get to meet him. He'll be there for a little while, first thing in the morning. Then we're going to have David Peck speak. And just added Patricia Kohler to the agenda. She wanted to share information she's gathered about honeydew from the spotted lanternfly and the medicinal value of that. So that'll be very interesting, very educational. So the agenda for the next meeting's jam-packed full. We need to move through it pretty quickly because at the end, we're auctioning off honey from the honey show.
And I want to add a little bit of input. In these great speakers and educational opportunities are really good, and I think the primary reason to attend these state meetings is the camaraderie of other beekeepers from other parts of the state. You know, we all come to our branch meetings and we share these experiences here in this room, but you can share the experiences with people from South Jersey, from Sussex County, from wherever. And beekeeping is very hyper-local, so you can learn their experiences and they can learn yours. And, you know, I don't know, I speak from personal experience. I like to talk about bees, so it's just really, it's a very social opportunity for me to go, and I would think a lot of people who like to go to branch meetings would also like a state meeting.
There's nothing simple about beekeeping today with all the difference in drugs and stuff like that. And I've spent a lot of time in the last 4 or 5 weeks, a couple of months, reading on just the drugs. And to read through all that material, it'll drive you crazy, but you need to learn it because it's going to make your beekeeping more cost effective.
Right, and to be able to share that with somebody who is an attendee or a speaker, or just to share those experiences is of value.
You know, oftentimes beekeepers attend, they've got questions on their minds, and they'll ask a few other people, right? Of course, they ask 3 people, they get 12 answers, right? But no, seriously, I mean, oftentimes it's an opportunity to get good answers face to face with somebody that's knowledgeable. Any other input on why? Yes, Tom.
I think location is essential because people just aren't going to drive 4 hours, 5 hours for a meeting. But I think on the local level, the executive boards and the president, vice president, they should all be trumping up the meeting to their members and tell them why they think it's a good idea to go. Just not get it from an email from the state. I think that's something that the chapter executive boards could do to really spur on a little more attendance at the state meetings. Their state meetings are very worthwhile. You have to have a good program, and they usually do, and they have the vendors there, which you don't always get at your chapter meetings. So there's a lot of benefits to it, and I think that's one thing that the local board members, executives could do to help the attendance for the state meetings.
Yeah, having the vendors there makes it very convenient. Grant also attends the meetings. He'll bring things down if you pre-order them. Better Bee is there often, Jay Don sometimes, so that makes it very convenient as well. Anything else on state meetings?
My personal opinion is, I like Dave's idea. It really should, in my opinion, be centrally located. The travel time for many people is going to be prohibitive. I can tell you today, the only reason, I had a personal business meeting in Morristown. So this just happened to be great in terms of travel.
There you go.
If I had to come here and travel 2 hours from Jackson, might not, unless we were doing this, introductory type of thing. In terms of getting people if you look at the population that we're serving in terms of overall beekeepers, who are they? Backyard beekeepers, correct? So the typical backyard beekeeper, in my opinion, doesn't know who Robin Underwood is. Dr. Robin Underwood doesn't know who Ellis is, doesn't know some of the academia people, but where do they get many of the pieces of information, good, better, and different? YouTube. So, in my opinion, maybe it would be a good idea, even though we might not like them in terms of what they promote on YouTube or whatever, get some of those, I don't know if I would call them celebrities, but get some people think they're celebrities, but get some of those people to speak from out of state. You know? You see, Bob Binney, I don't know what he costs to come here, but he's a big beekeeper. Everybody, probably knows him, or has seen some of his videos. I think they're pretty good. I would travel 2 hours to maybe see him.
Rod?
I just like to kind of champion the perspective that's going on here, is that even like coming to a meeting tonight, I've already learned a couple things. And I think is that walking away with one or two things from a state meeting, instead of walking back with an encyclopedia of knowledge, if you can walk back from a meeting, away from a meeting with one or two important points that helps you as a beekeeper and helps your bees become safer, more productive, or whatever, I think it's really an important factor. And it really does come down to dollars and cents. When the fact is that the $20 or $30 or whatever you have to pay for a meeting is bones if you lose a hive that you could have saved if you'd been at the meeting.
I agree with having them centrally located, but at the same time, when they're all centrally located, the people in the northern part of the state and the very southern part of the state suffer, because I'm in Sussex County and it's 2.5 hours to all of these meetings, and I'm willing to go, but many of the people in my branch are not willing to go. So have one there, have something in Jersey Cape, have something in
Get
South
Sussex to
Jersey.
step up. I have
I've
an
tried.
opening in
I've
May for
tried.
you. I have an opening in May, right now.
I'll work on it.
Thank you. John Kennedy.
I think
Volunteer, thank you. Exactly, just
John,
like
I feel like to the point of that question is, the people that are in this room come to these meetings regularly. The people that question was geared toward is the people that don't come to these meetings.
Give them a reason to come.
Good point.
But Grant,
Okay,
it's,
so-
it's that old saying, you can lead a horse to the water, but you
Well, I
can't make it drink.
understand,
If
but
people don't have the
it
interest
ultimately is
to
the same
improve their
15 people come to the meeting.
So let's
whether it
open
be
this up,
state or-
let's open it up a little bit
whatever.
from all these folks. Are there other ideas that we can encourage some of those other people to attend the meetings? Yes?
I fight with not fight. Our own executive board and other volunteer organizations. I think that the pandemic changed at least the age group I'm in, like 30 to 50-ish people. Like, we don't leave our houses, it's not easy. And our group doesn't want to do internet, Zoom. There's a lot of resistance there. But I feel like it might be, because we have, our attendance has gone down as well. Our class attendance, like you were saying, like your class, So I think we need to kind of adapt and make allowances for people that genuinely want to do this, but they don't have like the 2 hours to come out. And I would rather they watch our Zoom and our local, and Tom talk about what happened at his place, or then be on YouTube and watching a girl with no gloves punching bees. Like, I'd rather, if they're gonna sit and watch a video, they're interacting with us. So I think that at least for our own group, that really might be.
Know your audience.
Yeah.
Are there other ideas for getting other members
I
involved
would
in
say
state meetings?
that, I can remember, well, I don't know where it was, but I remember because Tim was there doing a demonstration. It was a fall meeting. It was up here somewhere, was it a county college or something? Fellowship, maybe? It might have been a college. In any event.
What are like the digital efforts that you guys put forward? Like as far as being on social media and making awareness of that, being out on, whether it's like there's CTV and OTT, which is like connected television, which means most TVs anymore are no longer plugged into an actual cable wire. They're just ran over the internet, meaning you can, potentially target multiple different audiences and groups. Is there any, is there any like of those in like, motives of getting people to come to the meeting going on?
Promoting the
I'm not
meetings,
coming
is
to a
that?
meeting if I have to sit there and look at a video.
No, excuse me. No, from a commercial perspective. So I don't know, probably as a show of hands, I'm sure the audience in this group would probably be more of like a Facebook group. But who's been on Facebook today? And then do you guys do any efforts
So
to promote the?
Rebecca.
Could answer maybe some
Well,
of
within
that.
the last 2 years, NJBA has started some social media efforts. We have a Facebook page. I know certain of the branches have Facebook pages and Facebook groups. The problem with that we're facing is getting content for those. And again, it might be sort of an interrelated issue of member interest and also member contribution. So you need to get members interested in order to contribute and volunteer and contribute content. So it's sort of a vicious cycle, or they feed off of each other. So we started the social media presence. We're working on building that up. I know that there has been the website, yes, there's a website under development. I don't know when that one's gonna go live. I'm not on that committee, so.
Maturing.
Eve, SJBA budgeted $5,000 for a website. Our committee chair, Eva, who is our current recording secretary, is termed out, and she's gonna be able to put more time into getting that up and moving. Unfortunately, Eva both of her parents became ill, and she's the sole provider, so she wasn't able to dedicate the time to her bees and to getting the website. In communication with her now, her family situation has changed, and she'll be getting the website up and moving.
Yeah, that thing is imminent. It's coming online pretty soon. Yeah.
I think to that effect, I think that just from an outsider looking in, I also do marketing on the side, not volunteering by any measure.
That's part of the biggest part of the problem
here's-
that we have. Because like the fire companies, when I was chief, we had 42 members, now we have 8. What happened to your Boy Scouts? What happened to your Girl Scouts? What happened to your youth organizations, hockey, baseball? Same thing is happening to Bee Committee. People aren't volunteering.
So, and just to clarify, because I was going to follow up with that, is because that's not actually my role. I'm the salesperson. So I'm not really the phonetic coder that knows and understands actually how to do it. But it might be something to consider as a total sum, as being able to attract an audience from the fact that we could probably, I don't even have to look behind me, I could bet that half of the crowd in here has been on social media today. So if we're getting, some kind of content calendar together, maybe that's a worthwhile conversation. For that, I'd be willing to have conversation with, maybe collaboration. But I also would suggest that I don't personally do it as a matter of fact.
There's one thing that I'm very hesitant with the Facebook component, is you get all these, and I'm certainly no expert, but you get individuals on there that say, hey, I've got such and such a problem, and then you have somebody say, well, it's this or it's that, and it's definitely not that.
It's less about dispensing advice and information than it is marketing and outreach.
Yeah. So you can, and yes, you can shut off comments and things of that nature. So there's no rebuttals. It's just like, hey, we're having a state meeting, good learning event.
Back here from Sean.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as a rank and file member, not the husband. Rank and file. But she may or may not agree with this as well. As coming into the beekeeping world over the last several years, my impression, and I think is reflected maybe in all of your branches as well, is what is NJBA doing for you? Yeah. Right. So we've got the local groups that we get together and we have our meetings and we have our speakers and we do whatever, and they're cultivating especially new beekeepers to come up. That I think that the very question that was asked about what can we do to get people to come is to more publicly have more outreach about what does the state organization really do for you. I saw Tim share a post the other day that had a list of things that they do, right? So,
So that kind of segues into another question I have.
Good.
Karen, before I do that, did you have a question or comment?
Well, I think that if you're gonna be doing Facebook, you need to do Instagram, because you need younger people in here.
We
You know
have
what I mean?
Instagram as well.
So you need to have Instagram, and then you're talking about, sir, and I don't agree with you that you wanna cut the comments off, because you should have somebody in an outreach in that area who can go help that person, because, well, I mean, doesn't.
and I-
So
wait,
that person
wait,
to
wait.
it. Let's
Sorry.
add
one
one
comment.
Yeah, let's,
We have so much information collectively across all the clubs in New Jersey. You look at people in this room right now, especially a lot of you up there, you've presented some great talks, you've mentored a lot of people. The problem is, those presentations, that information sequestered in individual clubs somewhere. We have no mechanism. It could be Instagram, it could be a lot of things, but we have no mechanism for New Jersey clubs to share our collective knowledge. And that's why people go off to Google everything.
Yeah.
If our club members realized how many smart people we have and how much information we have, that would be a big boon to the state. We've got to find a mechanism where New Jersey beekeepers know where to go to get New Jersey beekeeping information. We don't have that today.
So that's a good suggestion. Let me segue into another question related. It's the second question on the list here. Any organization is only as effective as its leaders and its members who volunteer to support the organization and its activities. As leaders, how can the New Jersey Beekeeping Association continue to be effective, meeting our mission at the same time serve our membership? Same kind of questions. So let's, so it's really, let's focus on, we have a mission as New Jersey Beekeeping Association, and it's multifaceted. It includes representing members, right? We can talk about that more, but also serving members as well. Who wants to start that?
I'll start with that.
Okay.
So I'm going to use this, what we're doing tonight is a great example. That, yes, you guys took the initiative and said, hey, we want you to come here and talk to us. I think that's something that NJBA should put forth, is that, what are your questions to the board? What do you want from us? What do you expect to see from us? What would you like to see? What changes? Some of the things I'm hearing are great. Yes, there's a ton of knowledge floating around in NJBA. We're not doing a very effective job as a group of putting that knowledge. To use your YouTube example, maybe we start doing things like that where we pick a topic and we put that topic together and we present it however we present it, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, any social media. Get it out to our members, let our members know that, hey, we have this presence. Come see us, come see what we have to say. Come, a presentation like Tim's tonight would be great to share with every organization, the 10 organizations here. And NJBA is the vehicle to get that out to people.
I came up with 5 things. Number 1, more hands-on demonstrations, more hands-on information, get people involved with handling frames. A young beekeeper is going to be very intimidated. It's one thing to say, hey, that's a drone layer if you're looking at a picture, but to actually see it, that's a big thing. 2, more programs for younger people. Now, I'm 60. I might be one of the older people in the class, but there's probably no one here that's, there's maybe 2. You're younger than 20.
I'm 77.
I'm not saying I'm the oldest. I'm saying, what is the average age of beekeepers? It's 55? I don't know.
No.
But why aren't there more younger individuals involved? And if we want to get more people involved, they need to be younger people and bring them. So that was one of the things that I said to myself. How do we get younger people involved in beekeeping?
Education.
Social media. Social media.
That was the third.
Oh, is that 4th thing?
Hold on. Oh, okay, so let's see more high-profile speakers, invite elected officials, you already spoke about that, and your and my passion is, some type of queen exchange program. That might be on a club level, but, do something where, I don't want to sell queens, I'd rather give them away. I know that
Charlie says he's next. Charlie?
He's 10 when he's done. Yeah, and we got a solid business model, by the way. As far as it goes, we're not fly-by-night financially. We're solid as a tack. We're screwed down tight enough to show to a lawyer. We've got insurance that covers beekeepers for real. We are planned for events, and what else can I say? Okay, we've got a solid business model. If anybody has any questions, we could go with that.
That's
But for
absolutely
now,
true. Yeah.
it's absolutely true.
Jeff?
I could just address a couple of things, basically working off of what Danielle said and about the pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. The issue, the challenge with getting younger people spans agriculture across the board. I mean, even Farm Bureau's got their young ag professional committee, and if they have a dozen, maybe 2 dozen kids through younger people across the state, that's a success for them. Pre-pandemic, if you remember George Saraduck, he used to live down in Mercer County, we would send out emails to everybody in Mercer County, regardless of their club affiliation, saying like, hey, 10 o'clock Saturday, we're going to open up some hives. George will put a pot of coffee on, and come on, stay for an hour, stay for 2-3 hours, whatever we want to do. And we'd have 12, 15, 16 people showing up. Okay, over the last year and a half, I'll send out 80 emails on a Monday or a Tuesday. Now, and again, this happened 3 weeks ago. When I put my apivar on my hives for January 1st, hey, if it's a nice day, we're going to go out, check things out, maybe put some feed on it, whatever. Okay, on a good turnout, out of 80 beekeepers in Mercer County, if I get 3 people showing up, that's a lot. So it goes beyond just beekeeping. It's ag across the board, and I think maybe David or Keith talked about like soccer, Boy Scouts, whatever it is. The number of volunteers are way down, and that's a solution that everybody would love to find out about. To get younger folks involved, getting people to volunteer. It's just, it's out there. We all have the same problem, but that solution is just very elusive right now.
Yes.
Well, I think everybody in here has children, right? Of some fashion, and well, most people, sorry. And grandkids, some of you. Where are those people?
My kids are in the hives.
They're just not interested in bees.
I'll show you a picture
And
of my granddaughter.
yeah, they may help you as a dad, but when they go out at 22 years old, there's bigger fish to fry than keeping bees. It's expensive. They got families of their own. They're trying to pay a mortgage. They're trying to do this. They're trying to hold a job. It's just not the time in their life to really get that and have bees. It's typically when you're 40 plus, that's when you have those opportunities to do other things in your life. I think that's a big problem, and we've always faced that. But look at your own families, and why aren't your kids more involved? So it's part of, they're involved because you drag them out there. But when they're on their own,
But
are they really that interested?
If I go to my grandson's house, my daughter's house, and I talk to him about deer, bees, I can't pull them off of this. I can't pull them off of this.
So, it is an age thing that's always been there for as long as anybody. I've been in bees for 47 years.
Since you were born.
Pretty much. But that's the issue. Those kids are just not following through on those things.
Go in the back.
So maybe if we're trying to get younger people, maybe as clubs, we should try to do something with our local 4-H and do a demonstration. I don't know what that's.
Well, we recently added on a lot of committees for our group, and we're going to try to do, we have the outreach, so we're trying to infiltrate some of the local things. Maybe if our committees, and I think some of the other branches have committees like this as well, if those committees could kind of gather together and kind of network and build on it, that might be helpful as well.
I think the only way you're gonna get that younger crowd is you have to be online to get them interested and engaged enough to get them to put pants on and do that.
And
Like, we need a beekeeping video game.
Rod?
I'd like to talk from first person, is that the reason I go to the state meetings and the larger meetings is because I attended the, once a quarter, once every other month, when Tim Schuler